I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jennifer. Whether you're just starting your English journey or already working toward fluency, we're here to guide you step by step.
Today, we'll be talking about one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your learning. How to think in English. It's a game changer, and we're going to break it down for you.
Exactly. We're here to help you stop translating in your head and start processing thoughts directly in English, which is key to becoming more fluent and confident.
You know, Jennifer, when I first started learning English, I remember trying to have conversations, but I was constantly translating from my native language. It felt like I had to pause every few seconds just to figure out what I wanted to say. Have you ever experienced that?
Oh, absolutely. I think we've all been there at some point. For me, it was especially difficult in situations where I had to think fast, like ordering food or chatting with someone casually. I'd get stuck, and by the time I translated what I wanted to say, the conversation had already moved on.
Yeah, it's like trying to catch up to a train that's already left the station.
Right. It's all part of the learning process, and that's why thinking in English is such a powerful skill. It takes away that delay, and you start to feel more in control of your language.
Exactly. So today, we're going to share some practical tips to help you make that shift to thinking in English.
Before we dive deeper into today's topic, we have a special resource just for you. We've crafted a free PDF guide packed with essential vocabulary and insightful tips to enhance your English thinking skills. Be sure to check it out. It's linked in the description below.
Yes, and stick around till the end of the podcast because we'll be joined by our vocabulary expert, Charlotte. She'll help break down some of the key words and phrases we've used today.
Great! So let's kick off with our first tip on how to think in English, labeling objects around you.
Ah yes, this one brings back memories. When I first started learning English, my apartment was covered in sticky notes. My friends thought I was turning the place into an art project.
I can totally relate. I did the same thing. I remember putting a label on my mirror that said mirror, and every morning I'd see it while getting ready.
Exactly. And it's funny how quickly it works. After a while, every time I picked up my cup or opened the refrigerator, the English words just popped into my head automatically.
You know, what's great about this method is that it turns your environment into a constant learning space. It's like passive studying. You learn without even realizing it.
Right, and it helps break the habit of translating from your native language because you're directly associating the English word with the object.
So the bottom line is, labeling objects helps you think in English by making the language a natural part of your daily life.
Well said, Jennifer. It's all about creating those connections in your brain. Over time, you'll find yourself thinking of the English word first.
And that's a big step toward fluency. So to all our listeners, give it a try and let us know how it goes.
Absolutely. You know, speaking of making English a natural part of daily life, it reminds me of another tip that's been really helpful.
Oh, are you thinking about using simple sentences in your thoughts?
Exactly. When I started forcing myself to think in English, I realized I didn't have to construct perfect sentences. Just simple, straightforward thoughts.
Yes, I used to overcomplicate things by trying to think in complex sentences, which made it harder and more frustrating.
Same here. Then I began thinking in simple phrases, like I am hungry, it's sunny today, or I need to buy milk. It made the process so much easier.
And the best part is, as you get comfortable with simple sentences, you naturally start forming more complex ones without even trying.
Absolutely. It's like building blocks. You start small, and over time, you build up your language skills.
I remember waiting for the bus and thinking to myself, bus is late. Or, I see a red car. It felt a bit basic, but it kept my mind engaged in English.
I did that too. Even narrating mundane tasks like I wash dishes or I read book helped reinforce my thinking in English.
And the beauty of this method is that you can do it anywhere, anytime. No special tools needed, just your mind.
Exactly. It's a simple habit that can make a big difference over time.
So, to our listeners, try incorporating simple English sentences into your thoughts throughout the day. Don't worry about grammar or perfection. Just keep it simple.
And remember, the goal is to train your brain to think directly in English, which will boost your fluency and confidence.
We'd love to hear how this technique works for you. Share your experiences in the comments.
Definitely. Now, building on that, another tip that really helped me was to talk to yourself in English.
Oh, yes, self-talk can be surprisingly effective. Did you ever catch yourself having full conversations alone?
All the time. I remember cooking dinner and narrating every step. Now I chop the onions, I need to boil the water. It felt a bit silly at first, but it made a big difference.
I did the same when I was driving. I'd comment on everything. The traffic is heavy today. That car is moving fast. It kept my mind engaged and helped me think on my feet.
Exactly. It's like giving yourself a constant practice session. Plus, since you're alone, there's no pressure or fear of making mistakes.
And over time, it becomes second nature. You start thinking in English without even trying.
Right. And it's not just about narrating actions. Sometimes I'd even practice conversations I might have in the future.
Oh, like rehearsing for a meeting or a social event?
Yes, I'd imagine someone asking me questions and think about how I'd respond in English.
That's a great strategy. It prepares you for real-life situations and boosts your confidence.
For our listeners, don't worry if it feels awkward at first. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes.
Absolutely. So give it a try, start talking to yourself in English and see how it helps you think in the language.
And as always, we'd love to hear about your experiences. Feel free to share in the comments.
Speaking of immersing ourselves in English, another simple yet powerful tip is to change the settings of one of your devices or applications to English.
Oh yes, I remember switching my phone's language to English. It was a bit challenging at first, but it forced me to navigate in English daily.
Same here. I changed the language on my social media apps. It was interesting to see everything in English. It felt like a mini immersion.
It's a great way to surround yourself with the language. You get used to seeing and reading English regularly.
Plus, you pick up new vocabulary along the way. I learned a lot of tech-related terms this way.
Exactly. And it's not just phones. You can change the settings on your computer, tablet, even your smart TV.
For our listeners, you don't have to switch everything at once. Start with one device or app and see how it goes.
Good point. It should be a comfortable challenge, not overwhelming.
So, try changing a device or app to English and immerse yourself even more in the language.
Let us know which ones you switch and how it impacts your learning. And now, here's an interesting technique, thinking about situations in English.
Yes, this one's all about visualization. Whenever I was in a situation, I'd try to describe it in English in my mind.
Me too. If I was at a cafe, I'd think, I am ordering a coffee, or the barista is friendly. It helped me process my surroundings in English.
It's like creating a mental dialogue. You engage with the environment and practice at the same time.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be limited to current situations. You can imagine future scenarios or recall past events in English.
That's a great point. I used to replay conversations in my head thinking about what I could have said in English.
It's a form of mental rehearsal, which is really beneficial for language learning.
For our listeners, next time you're out and about, try narrating the situation in English in your mind. It's a subtle but effective way to think in the language.
And as always, we'd love to hear how this technique works for you.
Another helpful tip is to track your activities in English.
Yes, keeping a journal or a diary in English can be really impactful.
I started writing down my daily tasks and reflections in English. It not only improved my writing skills but also reinforced thinking in English.
Same here. I used a planner where I jot down appointments and to-do lists in English.
It's a simple habit that integrates the language into your everyday life.
And over time, you can look back and see your progress, which is really motivating.
For our listeners, consider starting a small notebook or using a note-taking app to track your activities in English.
It's a great way to practice and organize your life at the same time.
And don't worry about making mistakes. The goal is to think and write in English, not to be perfect.
Exactly. So give it a try and share your experiences with us. And now, last but not least, a tip that combines technology and language learning. Text in English.
Yes. Whether it's messaging friends, posting on social media, or even setting reminders, doing it in English makes a big difference.
I started texting a friend who was also learning English. We'd have whole conversations via text, which was less intimidating than speaking at first.
That's a great idea. I joined some online groups where the communication was in English. It was a fun way to interact and practice.
Plus, Texting gives you time to think about your responses so you can construct sentences and look up words if needed.
Exactly. And over time, you become more fluent and quicker in your responses.
For our listeners, try switching some of your texting or social media interactions to English.
It's a practical and modern way to immerse yourself in the language.
And as always, we'd love to hear about your experiences. Share in the comments how texting in English is helping you think in the language.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today with these tips on how to think in English.
We hope you found them helpful and that you'll try incorporating them into your daily life.
Remember, the key is consistency and making English a natural part of your routine.
Before we wrap up, let's bring in Charlotte, our vocabulary expert, to go over some of the key words and phrases from our conversation. Charlotte, over to you.
Thanks, Jennifer and Daniel. Let's explore some of the vocabulary you've used today. Enhance, to improve the quality, amount, or strength of something. Example, our podcast conversations are the perfect way to enhance your English language skills. Game changer, something that significantly alters the way things are done. Example, thinking in English is a game changer for language learners. Processing thoughts, the act of thinking and understanding information in your mind. Example, start processing thoughts directly in English to become more fluent. Reflecting, thinking deeply or carefully about something. Example, Daniel was reflecting on his experiences when he first started learning English. Translating in your head, mentally converting words from one language to another. Example, stop translating in your head to think more naturally in English. Catch up to a train that's already left the station. An idiom meaning trying to reach or engage with something that has already progressed. Example, by the time I thought of the right words, the conversation had moved on. It felt like trying to catch up to a train that's already left the station. Overcomplicate, to make something more complex than necessary. Example, don't overcomplicate your thoughts. Start with simple sentences. Straightforward, simple and easy to understand. Example, thinking in straightforward thoughts can ease the learning process. Mundane tasks, ordinary, everyday activities that are not exciting. Example, narrating mundane tasks like cooking can help reinforce English thinking. Reinforce, to strengthen or support an idea or habit. Example, writing in English helps reinforce your language skills. Second nature, a habit or skill that seems innate because it's been practiced so much. Example, after practicing daily, thinking in English became second nature. Think on your feet, to react quickly and effectively without prior preparation. Example, self-talk can help you learn to think on your feet in conversations. Self-talk, the act of talking to oneself, either silently or aloud. Example, self-talk is a useful technique for practicing English. Immerse, to involve oneself deeply in a particular activity. Example, immerse yourself in English by changing your device settings. Mini immersion, a brief or limited experience of being surrounded by a language. Example, switching apps to English creates a mini immersion environment. Navigate, to find your way around or through something. Example, changing your phone's language forces you to navigate in English. Visualization, forming mental images to understand or plan something. Example, visualization helps when thinking about situations in English. Mental rehearsal, practicing an activity in your mind before actually doing it. Example, she used mental rehearsal to prepare for English conversations. Subtle, not immediately obvious, nuanced. Example, thinking in English leads to subtle improvements over time. Impactful, having a significant effect or influence. Example, keeping a journal in English is an impactful way to learn. Jot down, to write something quickly. Example, he would jot down new words in his notebook. Intimidating, making one feel nervous or frightened. Example, speaking with natives can be intimidating, but practice helps. Fluency, the ability to speak or write a language easily and accurately. Example, these tips will help you achieve fluency in English. Consistency, the quality of always behaving in the same way. Example, consistency is key in making progress with language learning. Engaged, fully occupied or involved. Example, self-talk keeps your mind engaged in English. Overwhelming, very intense, difficult to deal with. Example, changing all device settings at once can be overwhelming. Boost your confidence. Increase your self-assurance. Example, thinking in English can boost your confidence in conversations. Rehearsing. Practicing something repeatedly to improve. Example, rehearsing conversations in your mind prepares you for real-life situations. Immerse yourself. To fully engage in an activity or environment. Example, immerse yourself in English to enhance learning. Practical, useful and sensible. Example, texting in English is a practical way to practice writing. Natural part of your routine, something you do regularly without effort. Example, make thinking in English a natural part of your routine. Insightful, showing a deep understanding. Example, their conversation provided insightful tips for learners. Special resource, a unique or valuable tool. Example, download the special resource they've prepared for more help. Boosts your confidence, increases your belief in your abilities. Example, practicing regularly boosts your confidence in speaking English. Stick around, to stay somewhere for a period of time. Example, stick around until the end for more valuable tips.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. That was incredibly helpful.
Yes, we really appreciate it. Expanding your vocabulary is such a crucial part of language learning.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's podcast.
We hope you've enjoyed our tips on how to think in English.
Remember, we're all on this language learning journey together.
So, keep practicing, stay positive, and don't hesitate to share your experiences and questions in the comments.
And don't forget to download our free PDF guide. It's a great resource to support your learning.
Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, happy learning.
Goodbye, everyone.